This is the DEX7, our marine-grade multimeter designed specifically for boats. It provides real-time visibility on up to 7 different electrical inputs like DC and AC voltage and current, bilge pump monitoring, and more. It's smaller, smarter, and tougher than anything else available. Let's jump right in. We've minimized the case size to be significantly smaller than other products while maintaining the same or larger screen size. Here on the front, you'll see the dimmable, sunlight-readable OLED display. The DEX7 is fully waterproof and UV resistant. It can be mounted exposed on a dash or on an interior panel. Turning the unit around, you'll see 2 connector ports. They are keyed, standard, 6-pin Deutsch-style connectors which can't be accidentally crossed. We've designed it to be able to be plug and play with your engineered wiring harness. There's no complicated screw terminal blocks. Anyone can install this meter in seconds. Our DEX7 can be surface mounted in a standard 2 1/8 inch hole showing only a tiny 1/4 inch bezel, or it can be routed into a dash panel for a completely flush and integrated appearance. Now, let's look at how the DEX7 displays data, how you navigate, and how activating or deactivating inputs change what appears on screen. Upon boot up, the DEX7 displays its multi-input overview screen. The layout adapts based on how many inputs are enabled, from 1 input all the way up to 7. Each input has a configurable long and short name and is represented as a tile along with the data. With 1 input active, it looks like this: 2, 3, 4. Note with 4 or less active inputs, it will display that input's long name. When we go to 5 active inputs, the display switches to show the configurable short names. 6 inputs now, and 7 inputs. From the multi-input screen, press left or right to scroll through full screen single input views. These screens show larger text, full long names, and extra data like averages and graphs. The DEX7 uses 4 flush touch buttons. The menu button brings up the settings and serves as the back key. The arrow buttons navigate left and right, up and down while in the settings menu, and the enter button pushes deeper into the various settings. If you're not using one of these inputs, just open the settings and turn that input off. It immediately disappears from the multi-input screen and the single input scroll, keeping the display clean and focused on the data that you care about. Let's take a closer look at the various inputs. Input 1 powers the meter and displays the input voltage of that input. The input range is 9 to 30 volts DC, so it can work on any 12 or 24 volt nominal system. Inputs 2, 3, and 4 are what make the DEX7 different than any other product. We call them flex inputs because each one can be configured differently as an additional DC voltage, a bilge pump monitor, or an hour meter. With flex inputs, one DEX7 performs the job of several meters, letting you stock fewer parts. Input 5 is our DC current input. It uses a traditional DC shunt, like this one or this one. Many popular third-party shunt ratios are available in the input setting. With the DC current input active, you'll see 2 new screens on the single input scroll: a large instantaneous and rolling average current value, and a 1-hour current history graph. Most boat owners don't actually know how much current their equipment uses. This history graph is very exciting. Now they can know how much demand they're putting on the batteries. They can look back in time and see those spikes, like when they ran the windlass or cranked up the stereo, and understand exactly how that impacted their system. Input 6 reads AC line voltage directly, calculating both RMS voltage and frequency. No sensors required. Input 7 measures AC current using a current transformer, like this one. Similar to DC current, multiple common third-party CT ratios are available in the settings menu. Just like DC current, you'll get 2 new screens showing instant and rolling average current draw and the very cool 1-hour history graph. Next, let's look at the flex input settings. Navigating to any flex input settings will select its type, like this. Now DC voltage is straightforward. It reads the DC voltage on the input line. One note is the flex inputs have a wider voltage range than input 1. anywhere from 0 volts to 70 volts DC. When any flex input is set to bilge, the settings menu adapts. Settings are now available for an internal lookback period from 1 to 99 hours. Connecting a bilge pump is easy. Simply splice a conductor into the output of a bilge pump's float switch and run it to the appropriate flex input pin. The DEX7 watches that circuit and calculates several really helpful pieces of information. Cycle count shows how many times the pump has activated. There's a built-in delay to avoid minor bounces from impacting true bilge cycles. Runtime percent shows how much of the interval lookback window the bilge pump has actually been running. It gives you meaningful context that would be an excellent feature for boats kept in the water. Each of these settings, plus runtime duration, can be selected for a configurable output alarm. In hour meter mode, a flex input simply counts hours that a positive signal is present on the line. This can be used for engine hours or any system on a boat that outputs a positive DC signal. Hour-based alarms can be set up, which are great for configurable preventative maintenance alarms. Hour meter totals are stored in non-volatile memory, so they persist through power losses. The DEX7 includes a single output alarm pin, capable of providing up to 1 amp to drive a buzzer or external warning light. Every one of the 7 inputs has its own set of configurable alarm conditions. These include things like high or low voltage, high or low current, bilge pump cycle count, runtime percentage or duration, or hour meter timing. You don't need an external buzzer to take advantage of the alarms. The DEX7 also provides a visual alarm right on the display. For each input, you can choose whether that alarm should activate the output pin or only display visually. For example, you might want a high water float switch to sound a buzzer, while a low voltage alarm only show on the screen. There's also an alarm silence option in the main settings. When enabled, it disables the output pin and softens the visual alert to a small flashing arrow in the corner of the screen. This allows you to silence the buzzer without losing awareness of an active alarm condition. One of the most unique features of the DEX7 is the voltage drop experiment. When any 2 DC voltage inputs are active, you can assign one as the source and the other as the load. The DEX7 then calculates the voltage drop between them and adds it as a dedicated screen in the single screen scroll. This is an excellent tool for any technician verifying ABYC voltage drop compliance or evaluating whether a feeder wire gauge size is appropriate under real dynamic load conditions. We'll wrap up with a few main menu settings. Brightness allows you to dim the screen for night use or brighten it in direct sunlight. The sleep timer will turn the display off to reduce current draw. Factory reset will delete all configured settings, and the version info will display firmware version. So that's it. The DEX7 is a compact meter that gives you a ton of information, simplifies wiring, and solves a lot of the guesswork that happens on boats every day. If you'd like to talk about bringing the DEX7 into your lineup, just let us know. We're excited to help.